Hello, it's Gary from Lismore Signs, and today I would like to show you how to apply a digital print sticker that has got what's called air release on the back of it. The difference between this kind of vinyl and other vinyl or ordinary vinyl is that this has a textured paper that puts little tiny grooves into the back of the sticky side of your print, and it makes little air channels, for the air to flow out through from behind the sign, and it gives you a nice flat sign. Hopefully, if it's done properly, you'll find that you'll be able to remove all the air bubbles. It's probably good to know that if you feel too scared about putting it on an air release sticker on without water, then it's quite okay to actually use water. It won't hurt. It'll take a while, a day or a few hours to dry and to stick on properly, but if you're a bit too scared to do it without water, then that's fine. One of the advantages of the air release vinyl is that you don't need water, and you stick it on and it's ready to go straight away. So what we'll need for this job is that's the applicator that we use in the sign trade. What I've got here, if you haven't got one of those, is a piece of corflute, which is the stuff that the real estate signs are made out of, and I've just cut a little piece of that out of. You could use anything, any sort of rigid plastic, and I've put a little sock on there so that the plastic doesn't scratch the face of the print. That's ready to go. First up, we need to make sure the background is clean and no dust or grease on it, so I've just got a bit of Terps here, and I'll give it a bit of a wipe over. Make sure dirt and dust free, and then we need to mark where the sign's got to go so that we'll get it nice and level. And I'm using a sign writer's pencil here that will draw on almost anything, but if you haven't got one of them, then you can use a whiteboard marker or something similar so that you can wipe it off when you're finished. So put a line where the sign has to be located. Now, your digital prints come in lots of different sizes, of course, and this one's not very big. If I was putting this on at work, I would simply peel the paper off the back and I would very carefully line it up and I'd stick it on. But what I'm going to show you this time is I'm going to show you how to do it if it's a bigger sign or if you're a bit worried about actually getting it wrong. So what we do is we get a couple of bits of masking tape ready. We place the sign where it needs to go. And we stick it on. Stick it on there. We could use an extra piece, just in case. So once we've got that in the right place, we can fold this back. And fold the backing paper under. Like that. Move it forward. Get our little applicator. So there we have it. Once that end is stuck on properly, it means the whole sign is going to continue in the right place there. So we can actually remove the masking tape now. Take that all off. And we take the backing paper at the back and slowly and carefully just work our way along the print. There's a few bubbles there. We'll see if we can take care of them. The vinyl that I'm using here is actually called Hi-Tac, and it's really very sticky. Normally, the normal vinyl you would use here with your air release wouldn't be anywhere near as sticky as this, so that if you do have a problem, you should be able to give it a quick rip and it'll pull it away. But I'm not going to try it with this because this is very high tack and it's liable to be a disaster. So on there I can see a few little air bubbles, and because this is air release, all we need to do is gently press those air bubbles and they'll actually come out. Do it very gently, not pressing too hard for a start, sort of as you wipe a few times, just increase the pressure and that will remove the air bubbles. And because this is high-tack material, it's really difficult to get those air bubbles out on this really smooth surface that we're working with. But that's not a problem. To solve that problem, we get a little hobby blade or something like that. And as I said, this won't usually happen with air release vinyl because it's nowhere near as tacky as the stuff that I'm using here. But if you do have that problem, it's not a worry. Just give a little prick and the bubble's gone. Again here, a little prick, can't even see it, see the mark there, and the bubble's gone. There's a big bubble here, so we'll give that a couple, and there we are, it's gone. So it's that simple. Like I said, you shouldn't really have that trouble with air release vinyl, but if you do, a hobby knife works really well. If you feel a bit afraid not to do it without water, then what you need to do is, in a bottle that size, you use about a dozen drops of a good liquid detergent, and in that size, and give it a bit of a shake, and that will allow you to stick the print on and move it around a little bit, and then you do exactly the same application with your applicator and get the water out. It'll take longer to dry, of course, but it still works, and it'll work as good as that as long as you give it time to dry out. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know and we'll see if we can answer them for you. Thank you.